Panther Nation, what is good? Welcome back to Two Fans in the Stands. I am your favorite armchair GM, CJ.
And I'm your favorite couch scout extraordinaire, Tony. Come on one time. Y'all know what it
What's
is.
what's good, cuz? How you been doing?
Man, ain't shit slick through a can of oil, but I'm all right. How about yourself?
Hey man, I can't complain, man. I'm doing all right. Doing all right. Well,
Yes, sir.
it hasn't been a whole lot that's gone on in Panther Nation since we were last live, but we come to you today to talk about what's been happening, and a little something that's kind of happened to somebody that used to be a Carolina Panther, and I wanted to get everybody's take on that, and I got an interesting take from a fan of the team that they were currently on. Okay, so yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So let me start off by saying, Tony, how do you feel about our off season so far?
Well, I'm 50-50 when it comes to that. I mean, basically we haven't done anything but overhaul the offensive side of the ball, new head coach, new GM, you know. Yeah, I mean that nothing has really happened for me to say
Hmm.
either or. You know what I mean? I'm just excited now that the season is over. Finally, the Super Bowl is done. We get like a week or two from the combine. I think towards the end of this month, um, you could start franchise tagging up players. So it's curious to see who's going to get franchise. Who's going to get extended, who's even possibly going to get cut. So I think we get into that part of the season now where some of these decisions are going to be made, and
Hmm.
we'll start to see in which direction this organization is moving and what kind of team we're trying to build as far as creating an identity. Our philosophy offensively, we already kind of know what it's going to be defensively. Good
Hmm.
thing Ejero Evero is back. So offensively, on the offensive side, of course, there's 1,001 questions, and I'm just anxious to see some of those questions get answered. How about you? What you think?
I'm still on the fence, man. I keep trying to say that I'm not gonna get too hyped, too excited. Not saying not caring, but I'm trying not to get amped up about anything. But I do like Dave Canales hiring. I'm not gonna lie, I was throwing stuff at the wall when they said Dan Morgan was the GM. I was expecting it to be somebody else, but you know what? I'm gonna give Dan a chance. I mean, hey, Dave Gettleman was our GM for a while. Marty Herney was our GM, and I don't have too many good things to say about neither one of them. But so I'll give Dan a chance.
Understandable.
I will give
Yeah.
Dan a chance. Um, like you, I'm just looking forward to I'm looking forward to the combine. I'm looking forward to see how some of these players do. There's some questions about some of them as far as their measurables, like how tall they are, how much they weigh. I'm excited to see them go through the drills and get the numbers, and then we can start maybe getting a formulation of who the Panthers may try and pick. I'm also
Right.
ready for free agency to get rolling, because free agency is going to tell a lot about where the Panthers go in the draft and where they don't go. So
Exactly.
and just depending on what they do on what side of the ball. That's what I'm looking forward to. But I want to shout out a few people in the chat already. We got little homie, since he want to call us his big cousin, I'm calling little homie. Little homie Doug. He said great Saturday to catch up with the two big cousins. What's up, Doug? B Amos say, what's up, fellas? Doug said, what I
What's
will
going
say is
on?
coaching staff is aligned with each other and shouldn't be any confusion. Man, let me tell you, that is the number one
I agree
question.
with that.
And I hope that right there, comes to fruition. I really do. If one thing they, and let me tell you, Dave Canales seems like he's just a free spirit. He seems like he's got a lot of energy. He seems like he's trying to get everybody on one page. He seems like he wants to be a people person. He wants everybody like him, wants everybody like each other. Well, if somehow, some way, Dave Canales can see what I'm saying right now, I hope the guy he can. I don't know. We kind of small channel, so we get lost in the sauce a little bit. But Dave, when it comes to it, put your foot down, homie. Okay. When it comes to it, and the situation
No
calls
doubt.
for it, put your foot down. It's cool to be friends, but then there's certain times where take the friendships, throw them to the side. It's time to get shit done, and that's what I hope he does.
Already.
That's what I hope he does. All right.
Yeah.
Before we get into today's topics, I want to also thank everybody. We at 921 subscribers. We're on our way to 1,000. And if you're watching this and if you haven't yet, please hit that like button, subscribe to the page, follow us on all social media at Two Fans in the Stands, Two Fans ITS on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. I still call it Twitter. But subscribe, like, follow all our pages, please. And we're still on our way to our goal of 1,000 subscribers, and we appreciate everybody who has done so far. Okay. Now, Tony, our
Yes,
first
sir.
topic of the day is going to be the coaching staff. All right. The Panthers coaching staff is set, and it is set on both sides of the ball. So we have a full offensive staff and a full defensive staff. So real quick, anybody that stands out to you with these last few hirings that they made?
Um, I do like the pickup of the tight ends coach. Can't I'm trying to remember what I
Uh,
had at just now.
McPherson.
Pat McPherson. Pat
Mm-hmm.
McPherson has been with the Seahawks for like 13 years. And over the course of time, Seattle has had some pretty good tight ends. Even their third string tight ends has given us the business um over the years. Will Disley, of course, we know they have Noah Font, however you want to pronounce it. So I think by him coming in, him coming over, now I think there's a strong possibility that we can pick up a tight end from Seattle. I hope so. I like
Mm-hmm.
Noah Font over Ian Thomas. I hope that we keep Tommy Tremble because I love Tommy Tremble's blocking
Mm-hmm.
ability. I love that dog in him. His hands has gotten better. So you add another true pass catcher, to that mix. I don't know what's going to happen with Hayden Hurst. That's still up in the air. But if there's a possibility that, we could bring in Noah Fant, who had a somewhat a good productive year last year in Seattle. Hey, I'll be all for that. I know we
Okay.
hired Pete Carroll, son as the pass game coordinator. Don't know too much about him, but he is the son of a great NFL head coach, so there's some pedigree there. Yeah.
Okay.
What about you? Anybody
Well,
anybody you got excited about?
I'm looking at what's my man name? Oh God, what's his name? Will Harriger. I'm probably
Oh yeah,
butchering
Will
his name.
Harrigan, quarterback coach.
He's gonna be interesting because well, I think he came over from Dallas, but I kept hearing people talking online about his connection with Bryce Young. And I was scratching my head and I'm like, what connection? Like, what are they talking about? So I did some digging, and he worked with a company that developed high school quarterbacks. And Bryce Young was a
Right,
part of that when he was in high school. So now
right,
does that relationship come in and hopefully, start to get Bryce Young on track, yield some results. We don't know yet. Well, we'll have to see. But hopefully that familiarity, somebody that Bryce know, maybe that can help us out as a whole. And like you
right.
said with Nathan Carroll or Pete Carroll's son, I'm just interested to see if he is going to bring in, you know, that same energy that Pete Carroll has. Um,
I'm pretty
I,
sure.
I don't know too much about him. I don't know too much about him, but you know, um, it would be funny if he chewed gum like Pete Carroll. You know, they had a whole segment one time on ESPN about how much gum Pete Carroll chews, you know, on the sidelines during a single game. So I thought that was kind of, you know, weird and interesting all at the same time. But yeah, but Carroll and Harriger, I'm definitely, you know, interested to see, you know, what they're going to bring to the team. Okay, and
Right,
I'm going to
right.
get into a few slides here. So let me get this pulled up. All right. So now we got Nathan Carroll here, and you know, and let me go ahead and do this and drop the link for anybody that wants to come in. Hold on.
Doug, come
What
on.
did Doug say?
Let little homie
Little
know
homie.
when you drop the link.
Hey, all right, little homie. Look, the link is in, man. Come holler at your
Hey,
big cousin.
hey, don't you come in, Doug, unless you got all your damn lights turned on. We ain't doing no Doug after dark episode today, sir. I just want to put that out there.
Oh man. Okay. So let's get started here. We got Nathan Carroll, okay, and his entire career has been with the Seattle Seahawks. 2011 through 12, he was a defensive assistant. 2013, offensive assistant. 2014 through 17, assistant wide receivers coach. And I think that was around the same time that Canales was with them. Hey, what's up, Doug? Doug
I,
in the car.
I'm in the
What's
car. Look,
happening, Doug?
I had to turn the camera on to mess with, you know, the little big cousin. Tell him I'm driving. Lights is on, bright and shiny. I am out in the car, man.
Hey,
We,
look, B
hey,
Amos said
we
freaky
we see
Doug.
we see you, Doug Bunyan.
Wow, not Doug Bunyan.
Looking
But
like Paul Bunyan, sir.
I'm gonna turn my camera off and then I'm gonna talk to y'all.
Yeah, I
Hey,
got you. You concentrate.
before we start, again, like CJ said, these gentlemen are on a journey. There's enough love out of Panther Nation to get another Panthers content creator to 1,000 subs. They only need about 80, if I'm not mistaken, less than 80. Tell your cousins,
79.
79. Tell everybody that you know. If you talk to people behind the scenes, again, if you don't even like the content, only thing you're doing is you watching it and helping them out. So if you're not enjoying it, just hit the subscribe button so you can really, see what they're talking about, get their opinions. If you loving it, why not share the video, hit the like button, and leave a comment for them and let them know how much you appreciate the content that they give to Panther community from a different aspect. So again, like we say every time when they come up here, they need a couple more clicks. Again, we can get them to 79 by really in 2 weeks. I know that's a lot of numbers, but if we do a lot of word of mouth and we actually let people know, hey, we got somebody that you might enjoy content from, just hit the
Already.
subscribe button for them, man. That's
Hey,
all we asking for.
we
Appreciate that,
appreciate
cuz.
it. I want to throw this out here too. Y'all don't have to agree with us, okay, to come on live and chop it up with us. We like opinions from everybody.
Yeah,
You know, we want to we be respectful to each other. That's the only thing I ask. You know, but if
Correct.
you got a completely different opinion from what we say, and you want to come on here and tell us we dead wrong, hey, by all means, hit that link and come on, chop it up with us. All right, we'll talk to you. We want to hear from
Correct.
everybody. All right.
already.
So, Doug, let me ask you, what do you think about the coaching staff that's filled out now?
Okay, I got 20 minutes, so I'm gonna be short.
All right,
I
go
love
ahead.
it. I love it. For me, like I said, familiarity, it's alignment. One thing that I will say, Dave Canales, that I don't like what people say. We took a lot of coaches from Seattle. People have to understand coaching staffs are developed based off of relationships. So why not get somebody that knows the philosophy that's been
Facts.
ran in Seattle since Pete Carroll was the head coach there? If people really look as a deep dive, and I'm not talking about surface deep, a deep dive, Pete Carroll's philosophy is what Dave Canales runs. If you really look at the tape and the play calling sheets and the way plays are called, Dave Canales learned everything from Pete Carroll and he put his own mix into it. So that's where I understand some of these hires. Why not get familiar people that you're familiar with and have familiarity in your front office and in your coach's office. So
Right.
for me, I love it. I really think, not losing any defensive coaches is another big thing that people are not talking about. We
Facts.
didn't lose any defensive coaches for any of these openings. None
Facts.
whatsoever.
Right.
So
Right.
the good thing about it, you have familiar coaches that know each other on offense, and you have coaches that have been underneath the same regime for a year. So
Okay.
nothing
Hey,
to
hey, hey,
complain about.
Duh. Duh, hold on. I gotta interrupt you. Okay, I gotta
You
interrupt
know,
you because
reading
we
money.
got we got to shout out the money. Will
Go ahead.
Robinson 843 with the $10 super chat.
Chill,
Thank you. We
Yes,
Will.
sir.
appreciate you, dog.
What's
It
good?
said they are heavily investing in Bryce Young. Over the next 2 seasons, we will know with certain if he is our franchise QB or not. I like the coaching staff. Hey, appreciate the comment, appreciate the super chat, man. We will
Facts.
definitely put that to good
That's
use.
facts, Will.
And I agree with that. I agree with that. They're going to invest heavily in Bryce Young. And everybody likes to call us Bryce lovers and Bryce sexuals and all this and all that. My thing is give the man a chance. I have no issue with Bryce if he's not the quarterback, then we'll have to move on. But it's done. He's our quarterback. He was our number one pick. It would be dumb of the Panthers not to try everything in their power to make this investment work. Okay.
Right.
I would
So
say I
yeah.
would say this real quick,
Mhm.
and then you can ask me another question. Frank Wright did not want um, Bryce Young. It's evident now. And
Fact.
where you have a coach in Dan Canales that has stated, I said Dave Canales. I forgot. You're gonna get those names mixed up. You're gonna get it mixed up. Dave Canales.
I'm
Um, I
I'm
really
not
do
gonna do it.
think
I'm gonna be
I
quiet.
I really do think that you do have a coach that believes in his quarterback. And like he said, even with the Bucks, they had Bryce Young as number one if they had that pick. So once you have a coach,
Uh-oh. I think Doug went
We
out,
lost.
y'all. Okay, yeah, we
Yeah.
lost Doug. Hey, and once again, Will, thank you for the $10 super chat. We appreciate you, man.
Yeah.
Appreciate you a
Appreciate
lot,
it,
big
Will. We
homie.
appreciate you, bro.
I did want to get. Oh, here we
that
go. All right, go ahead, Doug. You back
oh
now,
my
bro.
bad, my bad. I don't know. Like I said, I just passed the airport, so I don't know if that was my connection issue. But now I'm saying you just got to look at it with the coaching staff loves Bryce. You got coaches that have coached Bryce up. So let's see what he can do. If he can't do anything this particular year, then you can start the conversation. Bryce was a bust.
Facts.
Hmm. But when we use that word bust, when people use that word
Well, not
bust,
not right quarterback,
what?
not right quarterback for us. Then let me say that. Let me say
Okay,
that.
yeah, that because the dude is far from a bust.
Correct. I honestly think
Yeah.
he's gonna surprise a
Yeah.
lot of people this year, and I can't wait. I got a list. I got a list long to tell people that you were wrong
Listen,
about our quarterback.
we got receipts.
Hey,
We got receipts.
look,
Let me
look, look.
tell you.
I ain't even hanging on to the receipts. I'm just gonna come on the video. It's just gonna be me sitting up here with my arms crossed, just smiling like this. Be like, mm-hmm.
Hey,
I ain't got.
we
Hopefully, if that's the way it turns out, I ain't got to say nothing to nobody.
Yep.
I'm gonna come on everybody live. I'm not gonna say not one word, and I'm gonna have me a glass of that herbal Hennessy, and I'm gonna sit back with look with some cashews and some almonds. You can already know what
Ow.
it is. I ain't
Not
even gotta say
cashews,
nothing.
not cashews and almonds. Hey, but I do
Yeah,
I do want to shout out somebody in the chat, okay? And this is a really good friend of mine. Ever since I moved into my house, is my neighbor across the street. It is Mr. E, Mr. Evans. How you doing, sir? He been missing the lives, and he said he was gonna come on and join us. And I finally see you in the comments. I appreciate you, sir. I appreciate that. That's my
Mr.
dog right
E, how
there.
you doing,
Yeah,
sir?
that's my dog. That's a good dude right there. He's been a great neighbor for a lot of years. I've been in this house. So much love to you, Misty. I appreciate
Okay,
you in the comments. All right. All right. Well, I'm gonna get back to some more of the comments in a second, y'all. But I want to get through these coaches that were hired real quick because I do want to get
okay,
Doug's opinion on the next topic before he has to go. Okay, so but Nathan Carroll, he's been basically offensive assistant his whole time in Seattle, except for his first year, he was a
yeah,
defensive assistant. He was a wide receivers coach, senior offensive assistant, and now he will be the passing game coordinator for the Carolina Panthers. If y'all didn't know, and we didn't hear us earlier, he is Pete Carroll's son. Okay, so hopefully he can bring the
Right.
energy that his dad has. All right, Will Herringer. Okay, and as I said in our little intro, I'm interested. I'm interested about this one because he was part of a group that worked and developed high school quarterbacks, and Bryce Young was one of those quarterbacks that he developed when he was, or helped develop when he was in high school. So, will this translate to a better relationship? Somebody that he knows. I don't know, what exactly their relationship was. But maybe it's something that can come in and help. You never know. You never know. All right. Any thoughts on Will Harrigan, fellas?
No, sir.
Okay.
No, I don't have none.
All right. Well, I'll go through 2014 to 15. He was Seattle Seahawks offensive assistant. Coach 2016 to 2018. He was assistant quarterbacks coach. 2019, he was with the Falcons. He was offensive assistant coach. 2020 with the Falcons, game management coordinator. 21 with the Jaguars, offensive assistant coach. And 2023 with Dallas Cowboys, offensive assistant coach and quality control coach. Okay, and he will now
Right.
be our quarterbacks coach. All right. So that is Will
Right.
Harriger. All right, move on. Pat McPherson. Okay, this is the one, Tony, you said that you liked a lot.
Yeah.
Back in '98, he's a defensive assistant for the Broncos, offensive assistant for the Broncos from '99 to '02. He's a quarterbacks coach from 2003 2006. And if I read this correctly, he did help Jake Plummer have a few pretty good seasons while he was the quarterbacks coach.
Yeah, I read that
He was
too.
he was a tight ends coach for the Broncos from '07 to '08, tight ends coach from with the Seahawks for 13 years from 2010 to 2013. And I do like that. He got longevity. He was there for a while. So maybe, like you said, maybe that hopefully it lead to them bringing some more talent at the wide receiver. I'm sorry, tight end position. Me personally, Ian Thomas can go. I keep Tommy Tremble.
Yes. Yes.
Steven Sullivan or Stephon Sullivan, if I'm saying his name wrong, he can stay. But yeah, Ian Thomas can go, and let's see what Pat
What
McPherson can
about
do
Hayden
with
Hurst? What about Hayden
oh,
Hurst?
I ain't gonna lie, I damn near forgot about Hayden Hurst. I swear I
Y'all got to
did.
remember. Hold on, Hayden Hurst is a question mark. We really don't know because the injury thing. So I don't know if he's gonna get an
Yeah,
injured
the
settlement
medical.
or not. So that's a tough
Yeah.
one.
Right.
Yeah, yeah, okay. But yeah, I apologize. Yeah, I forgot all about Hayden Hurst. But I pray that he can come back because I do like him. Okay. And I do think a combination of him, Tommy Tremble, Sullivan, and maybe one more they bring in if they want to round that group out. I think it would be good, but that's if Ian Thomas is not here. And no hate on Ian Thomas. Okay. This is just strictly, my preference to him as a player. All right.
Got you.
So move on to, and I'm going to have a Doug moment with this guy's name. I know I am.
K-
I know.
Khalil
I'm
Kapoor.
what Tony said. Okay, all right. The only thing I could
Khalil
find on him
Kapoor.
is that he was assistant offensive line coach for the Seahawks from 2020 to 2023. And when I brought up the stats for Seattle Seahawks offensive line with some of them, what stood out to me is they only gave up 38 sacks. Okay, and
Right.
in the same draft where we took Icky, they took Charles Cross
Yep.
and
Out of
another rookie.
Mississippi
They
State.
drafted two tackles.
Yep.
Go
Did
ahead, Doug.
didn't I tell you in that draft? Who did I say was my number one tackle that I want us to get?
You said Charles Cross. You did.
Yes.
You did.
Yes.
You said Charles Cross, and I looked at you like you was stupid. I was like, man, I don't want that dude. You
Listen,
absolutely did. You
because one
absolutely
one
did.
thing one thing about an offensive lineman, especially tackle, it's easier to teach you how to run, how to run block than it is
Mhm.
to teach you how to pass protect.
Correct.
So Charles Cross was already far ahead of the rest of those tackles in that draft when it came to pass
Pass
protection.
blocks.
To
Yep.
me, huh?
I said correct. Correct.
Yeah. So that's why I was in love with his tape, especially what he did against Alabama his junior year. Like he shut down Will Anderson and them boys pretty much. Like whoever they lined up across from him, he gave
Mm-hmm.
them that work.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Cool bean. Okay, and then I did want to mention as well, there were a couple of assistants that I forgot to put on these slides, and one of them was Tracy Smith. Tracy Smith is the special teams coordinator
Yep.
that was hired, and also
From Seattle.
Darren Bates. Yeah, and also
Yep.
Darren Bates. Darren Bates was hired as a special teams assistant. Okay, so that will be
Yeah.
our special teams coaching staff.
Now, Tony, I
He
would
just
say, I mean,
finished
not Tony,
playing.
CJ. CJ, I would say
Mm-hmm.
this. Expect our special teams to be in the top 10 this year. That's one
Okay.
thing. They were just recently this past year seventh in the league in
Mm-hmm.
special teams. So
Okay.
I do think Panero will not be our kicker next year. We may have to grab one or draft one.
Mm-hmm.
Hecker, I'm not
Why
sure about.
why you
I
think
think
that, Doug?
Panero's
Why
not. I'll say this: whenever you needed him, what has he done for you?
Well, I mean, now he did win
nah,
us the game twice this year.
What about missed extra points? How many missed extra points did he have this year?
Yeah.
what?
Well,
Two what he had, two or
No,
three?
more than two. He had four.
mm,
Yeah. Okay,
yeah,
okay. But that I don't see where he missed the extra points cost us the game. Cause it ain't like we lost many games by 1, 2, or 3 points. Like we were losing games by substantial amount of points to
Okay,
where
so
whether he
I'll
missed
give you
or
this
made.
example. I'll give you this example. When we played New Orleans and he missed that PAT, and we could have been, I think it could have been a 9-6 game, and we got the ball. What happened? He missed the field goal, and what happened? The very next play, I was at that game. Derek Carr threw a bomb to Chris Olave, and then they scored the next play after that. Momentum. You gotta look at momentum shifts. You gotta look at
No,
momentum shifts where he's. Go ahead.
I understand what you're saying, and I'm not doubting that the man has missed kicks like everybody, but I don't think he has played badly enough to warn him out. That's all I'm saying.
now
Or
I will,
bring comp in. I'll say bring some
there you
competition.
go,
Bring
there you
comp
go.
in there.
Yeah, bring some
Yeah,
competition in. Yeah, I agree with that because competition is good at every position. Don't matter
Correct.
who
mm-hmm,
you got.
Facts.
Yeah, I don't.
yep,
Even for Bryce Young, if you brought in somebody, hey, Andy Dalton is competition.
push
That's
him.
a veteran.
Mm-hmm,
Yeah, somebody to push you. So yeah, I'm never going to be against bringing in competition, no matter the position. But just to say,
mm-hmm.
just to get rid of them, no,
Yeah,
I can't rock with
and
you on
and
that
I
one.
and I will say this: bringing in competition can be a good thing because I do remember at one point in time there was a kicker, a young kicker named Harrison Butker, who was a
That's the
Carolina
best.
Panther.
Yep. Yep.
Oh my God! Please
And
don't
look
bring that up.
and look at what he doing now. That Joker out there winning Super Bowls. Cause
Yep.
he's
Yo,
he's
I
won
didn't
three of
even.
them. All the three that they won,
Yeah,
he's been on the team.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Listen. I didn't even realize that we had even drafted him in the seventh round, and then
Yep.
they released him in spring training.
Yep.
What up, Digit? Dig it. Said when he misses the extra point to Panther Super Bowl, then I cut him.
No, you gotta go back. You gotta go back to the other one he posted.
Hold on. Let me
It,
see.
every time he used
Lord. Oh
boy,
well, let
take
me tell you,
everything in.
boy. Hey, in rare form as usual. In rare form as usual. All
I
right.
can't fool him right now.
Hey, look, I'm gonna get onto this next subject here because I want Doug to weigh in. Okay, so Doug, I'm gonna put you on
Right?
mute for a hot second. All right,
Okay.
all right, y'all. So our next subject here is a former coach for the Carolina Panthers, former defensive back coach, former defensive coordinator, former interim head coach, Steve Wilks. Okay, and we all saw that his team, the 49ers, were in the Super Bowl, had a chance to win, and it didn't happen, and they came up short. And a lot of people are saying that he was the scapegoat for Kyle Shanahan. So Tony, what is your
Facts.
thoughts on this?
I agree 1,000%.
Okay.
Listen, they showed the numbers of Steve Wilks' defense this year. He had the eighth total defense, and they was ranked third in total points
Hmm.
allowed. Okay, they compare that to the last 2 years of with D'Amico Ryan. Wasn't even that much of a difference. Like I think Steve Young averaged 1 point less. I think total yards per game it was like maybe 8 yards, if I'm not mistaken. Like it was pretty much the same. He did give up less points than what D'Amico Ryan had did over 2 years. But my only thinking is that what I was hearing throughout the season was that Steve Wilks and Kyle Shanahan didn't get along.
Hmm.
They didn't get along. He had a problem with Steve Young running that soft coverage. I have a problem with soft coverage. I don't like soft coverage. I don't understand why how you pressing how you rushing 5 or 6 and you playing soft on the back end, especially when you got third and long or something like that. When you got the offense behind the ball, yeah, I just don't agree with that. So to answer your question, yes, I think he was a scapegoat by the 49ers. He was scapegoat by the Panthers. He's been a scapegoat by Arizona Cardinals. Everywhere he went, he has been a scapegoat.
Hey, facts. I agree. I completely agree. He was the scapegoat, and it just kind of sucks because he gets fired a couple days after the Super Bowl, and now this man, now mind you, I don't know if there's any openings that he can
There's
potentially
none.
apply for.
There
So
are no openings, no head coach or
yeah,
defense coordinator positions.
I don't know. Maybe he can be, like he was with Carolina when he came back. I don't know if he can be like a defensive backs coach or some kind of defensive assistant or consultant or something, But we'll see. But
CJ,
let
I'm
me.
on mute. I was on mute. All positions are filled. Every position is filled now. There's
Oh,
nobody. He's
okay.
gonna have to sit out this year. He's gonna have to sit out 1 year.
Yeah, that's what I
Well,
would do. I would sit out.
that sucks.
I
That
would
that
say
really
this real.
sucks.
I would say
Go
this
ahead,
real
Duff.
quick. Um, yes, people can say I think it was a rush defense or total. It was. I think his rush defense is ranked in the 20s. Okay, whatever you got to say. This man held Patrick Mahomes, the young goat, to one touchdown in regulation. One touchdown.
Talk about it.
Nobody told or Steve Wilks didn't have, and who was Steve Young? Uh, Tony, you kept saying Steve Young. I had to mess with you. I was on mute. You said Steve Young.
You
I
did,
said Steve
Tony.
Young.
I'm a mess with him. You know
Oh
I gotta mess with him.
yeah, Steve Wilkes.
You
Nah,
know I
nah,
gotta
nah.
mess
Come
with him.
on, cause yeah.
But now I say this: he was a scapegoat. Everybody knows it, and you know the saying: everybody and your mama and your daddy knew it. We all knew it. Kyle Shanahan had to find somebody to take the heat. Your players come out and say, "Oh, I didn't know we had new overtime rules." How you didn't know that? Your coach didn't tell you that, and
Right,
then for
right.
you to not kick the ball off to Patrick Mahomes, put him on the burner, so they can basically kick a field goal, and you took the ball and didn't go down there and get in that box. Come on now, come on now,
Hmm.
come on now.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
for me, everybody knows exactly what happened. Everybody knows exactly it was, Steve Wilks against Kyle Shanahan, and it goes from there, man. I'm just really frustrated that he had to take that responsibility, and I'm really hoping he does get another job. But at the end of the day, he was a scapegoat, and I think everybody knows it. I think everybody knows it, and
Yeah,
if they do get the Chargers old head coach, then that's gonna be another conversation for another day that we can talk about, man. But before I get out of here, again, hit that like button. More than the like button, subscribe to the channel, share the channel out to your family, your friends, other Panther followers. Get CJ and Tony to that one click. We call it the one click, the 1K, so they can go ahead and do other things that they're trying to do for their community and going into the off season. The off season is just starting. We're off to a great start, man. Again, can continue to support these brothers. my two big cousins. That's what I call them. Like I said, that's our little joke behind the scenes. And definitely
Little
enjoy the
homie.
content. Definitely enjoy the content, man. Like I said, we got something in store, but our main objective right now is to get CJ and Tony to one click so we can go ahead and bring that other channel to you guys and to you ladies, man.
Appreciate you, Dove.
So you about to go role play real quick?
Oh God,
On a serious note, I'm about to one of my best friend, he's the head coach at a Christian school out here. One of their girls got in a bad car wreck and she lost her life with her mom last weekend. So they're having a
oh,
memorial.
Oh
Yeah, they're
wow.
having a memorial today. So we're about to head to the memorial right now.
Well,
So
okay,
please
man. Sorry to hear that.
send them our
yes, sir.
condolences on
Yeah,
our
Yes, sir.
behalf.
Yes, sir.
yeah.
You already know, Tony.
Prayers
Like I
up from
said,
us,
y'all.
man.
Yes, sir. So y'all go ahead and hit me up behind the scenes. And like I said, let's go ahead and get into it.
All
I
right, man.
take I
Appreciate you,
take
Dove.
back that joke I just had. I take back my joke.
All right. Well, I mean, you didn't know, Tony. I'm sure you all right.
Yeah,
But
yeah, I
yeah,
ain't know.
but getting back to Steve Wilks. Let me go ahead and put our thing back up here. But getting back to Wilks, I had an interesting conversation with the 49ers fan at work yesterday. Okay. And what you said, Tony, was the same thing he said. He said, everybody who's talking about Wilks is being a scapegoat, don't watch 49er football. He said,
Hmm.
we've had issues with Wilks the whole year. And when he was going back to the coverage, he was like, we don't like that
That's
soft
soft
coverage
coverage.
that he plays. We don't like that bend but don't
Mm,
break. You let him go all the way down the field. You get into the red zone, and then you try your best to bend and not break, and then just let them get a field goal. And he was
yeah.
saying that was their biggest issue all season. He said no. He said I don't think he was a scapegoat. He said everybody think he's a scapegoat with Panther fans. And I was just like, and I told him, I was like, well, I said, now mind you, y'all did get away from running the ball in the in the third quarter. You know what I mean? I'm like, you go down
Christian
your first
McCaffrey did
drive,
fumble the ball.
Christian McCaffrey fumbles. Okay. I don't hear you
Yeah.
saying anything about Christian McCaffrey. All right. Um, but just
On
driving,
the punt return the punt where the ball hit the San Francisco 49 player in the foot and
yeah.
Ray McLeod couldn't scoop the ball up and Kansas City fell
Mm-hmm.
on it. Then they
Yeah.
scored the touchdown. The next play, that's where they got their momentum.
That was a wild play because when you look at the replay, it hit the
Mhm.
dude in front of him. I thought that he just went for the ball and then just couldn't grab the ball. Well, no, the ball hit the guy in front of him, so he had
Yeah,
to go after and get it. Then you
right.
got the play where I think it was, or was it when McCaffrey fumbled or somebody fumbled or something, and they were like George Kittle was kind of talking junk to the dude he was blocking, and the dude he was trying to block ended up jumping on the ball. I think that's when McCaffrey fumbled on that first
Hmm.
drive. But yeah, going back, and it's like, okay, so the dude messed up on special teams. Is he still the coordinator? You know what I
Right.
mean? I always like to say, especially with the Panthers in last season, it was enough blame to go around. But it seems like this has all been pointing to Steve Wilks since the end of the Super Bowl.
Well, I don't, of course, I don't know who your coworker is, and I'm pretty sure that you're a 49ers fan. But it
Yeah,
was
he is.
more than just Panther Nation that said that Steve Wilks was the scapegoat. That was on ESPN, NFL Network. That was, all the analysts and everybody has been saying it. So it ain't just Panthers fans. It's
Hmm.
people that know ball that is being, just looking at everything in its totality. I'm not saying that Steve Wilks didn't make no mistakes. I'm not saying that he shouldn't have ran cover zero, which was one
Hmm.
play that they was really talking about early on the season. That where they lost the game on that play because he went cover zero and
Hmm.
they didn't get to the quarterback. And I think when they played Denver Broncos, uh, um, what's his name? Wilson. Wilson lobbed the ball up and the boy caught in the end zone. This is like
Mm,
towards the end of the game. Like,
yeah.
listen, everybody make mistakes, but at the end of the day, this man was the same with the same defense that D'Amico Ryans had, that Robert Saleh had, Steve Wilks had,
Mhm.
and none of them won the Super Bowl with the defense that they had. Robert Saleh didn't win it. D'Amico Ryans didn't win it. Now Steve Wilks didn't win it. Then the only one that got fired after their first season, leading the defense to the Super Bowl, is Steve Wilks.
Mhm.
So,
Because
like I
two got
said,
head coach jobs.
right. So, hey, it is what it is. But everybody knows that that man was a scapegoat. He was done wrong. Now, people will say, well, him and Kyle Shanahan, they relationship wasn't all that great, which I do agree. Their relationship wasn't that great, and that could have been, part of the reason why he was let go. But right after the Super Bowl, like it looked fishy, it smelled fishy, and I think just like how everybody has been classifying it as being a scapegoat, I think that's what it is.
Okay. All right. Facts. Okay, we're gonna get into our next round of topics here. Well, topic. Okay, now what I want to do with this one, we got three different things we're going to talk about, and we got choices. Okay, and we're going to have see what is the bigger priority. Okay, and we're going to talk about Derek Brown. We're going to talk about Brian Burns, and we're going to talk about the 33rd pick that we have in the draft. Okay.
Right.
And first up is Brian Burns. Okay, now this is a subject that we've talked about a lot. We're talking about it now, and we're going to talk about it in the future. So we're gonna, we're gonna beat this dead horse to death. Okay, so what do you think is the bigger priority for the Panthers? Okay, extend Brian Burns, or do you tag him? Do you tag him and see if he plays under the franchise tag, or do you try to tag him and trade him?
Hey, that's a tough
Loaded questions.
question. Yeah, that's a loaded question right now on especially how I feel about Brian Burns right now, especially the comments that he made after the season that I was not in agreement with at all. I understand it. Don't get me wrong, but
Mhm.
as a fan, and me being a fan of the game, being a fan of his, no, I was not happy with it. Okay, I think I think I believe that Carolina honestly and truly should put the transition tag on him, not franchise tag him, but put the
Mhm.
transition tag on him. That way, if anybody does sign him, if he does choose to go somewhere else and somebody signs him, they get 2 first-round draft picks back, for him being a franchise tag. Reason why I said Another reason why I believe they should bring him back is because we don't have any other capable replacements on the defensive end or the outside linebacker position. You can't count on DJ Johnson. Can't count on Marquise Hayne. Can't count on Amari Barno. You can't count on Yuto Gross Matos. So what do we do? And we see even Brian Burns having a lackluster year, in my opinion, he
Mhm.
still had 8 sacks.
Yeah.
I think, and you correct chat, y'all can correct me if I'm wrong. If anybody out there, they look it up. I think the next closest defensive end or outside linebacker to him only had like 3 or 4 sacks. You know what I
Mhm.
mean?
Yeah.
So, if we had another bona fide stud, somebody that was playing opposite of him that could probably pick up that slack by Brian Burns not being there and being the number one guy anymore, then yeah, I wouldn't be opposed to trading him and getting the draft picks for him and then moving in whatever direction they choose to. But the simple fact that he is the best that we got
Mhm.
outside of Derek Brown, he's the best that we have defensively. and we know he really wants to be here. So I think by Dan Morgan, Brant Tillis, and those guys, fresh faces in the building, people he can negotiate with, you know, look things over and get a better opinion about things.
Mm,
I think that's an opportunity to try to mend some, some broken fences, or whatever bridge, however much the bridge has been burnt. Hopefully they can rebuild it and keep them. But that's it's a tricky question though. Honestly, you
yeah.
can really go either way. What you think?
Okay. A few things. One, I'm hoping that Dan Morgan being the GM and Gettleman being gone will kind of be a better bridge to the relationship that he has with the team. Okay, now I don't know if the relationship is bad or not. I'm not saying, but we don't know if Brian Burns feels some type of way because couldn't get a deal done with Gettleman last year. Okay, so maybe Dan Morgan can be a difference maker in this whole situation. Two,
Right.
Brant Tillis, our assistant, what is it?
Vice
Vice
President of
president,
football operation.
executive vice president of football operations. That's what I
Yeah.
meant to say. I was trying to make sure I got his title right. But you know,
EVP.
yeah, him coming in and hopefully being able to do what he does best and work out situations with contracts. Now, I do believe that a lot of the contracts that we have with a lot of our other players will also play a part into this as well, because you got Taylor Moton making a crap ton of money. I think his contract should be restructured. It's
Yes.
him and another person. I'm trying to think of who it is. Um, Oh God, it'll come to
But
me later.
why you trying to gather your thought? Do you think Taylor Moton contract should really be restructured? Because the reason why I asked that question, because he has been the mainstay on that offensive line ever since he got drafted. And I don't think
Mm,
Taylor Moton has missed any more than 2 or 3 games in six,
mm.
7 years. Like if there's
Well,
anybody in the offensive line that you can really count on,
yeah,
like we always talk about, your best ability is availability. And
hmm,
he's been available. Now I can give him
yeah.
that.
Well, I didn't say get rid of him.
R-
Yeah, no, I didn't. I ain't say get rid of him. I was just saying restructure his
Right, right,
contract. Yeah, I'm just saying if they can do something to rearrange his contract, make it more team friendly. I mean, you still get the man paid, but it's more than one way to skin a cat. You get what I'm
right,
saying?
yeah, right.
You get that
Yeah,
man
yeah, you're right.
contract restructured, and I think it's probably a few of them that they can. Hopefully, Tillers can work his magic and restructure a few contracts. Some players are not coming back. That'll save us some money, and then you go ahead and try to extend Brian Burns, because like you said, um I don't think we have anything here, to as a comp for him to replace him, you know. And it may be a situation where if you go ahead and get this thing done, get this man signed, get his mind right, go ahead and get him in that headspace, like, all right, bet it's a new day, we got a new regime, we got new people in here. They came to me, they sat down across from me like a man and said, hey, we want you here, this is our number, you know what, I'm going to agree with this. And instead of going out there and feeling all apprehensive and saying, well, I played a little so because there was no deal done, you go out there and you give it 100%, and then we may see a different Brian Burns. Now, mind you, everything I just said is all speculation from me, but if it was up to me, that's what I would try to do. I would try to extend Brian Burns, because
Right.
trying to tag him and trade him, like you said, if they transition tag him and get 2 first round picks for him, great. But
Yeah.
is anybody willing to give that up for Brian Burns right now? So we'll never
Well,
know.
the
And hold
the
on,
thing about that.
before you get started,
Oh.
Tony. I wanted to get to a comment here, and it did say, "What do you think Burns' market value is now?" Well, if he signs
Mm,
the franchise tag, he's going to get a contract 1 year. I think it's like $21 million. Okay.
okay.
He wanted 25 at the start of last year. Okay, he wanted 25. And I saw an article on Panthers Wire that said, an expected contract would be 4 years, $100 million. So you average out $25 million a year. And you know, I
I would
don't
pay
think.
that.
Yeah, I would pay that too. If I was the Panthers, I
Yeah,
would make that work, and I would pay that because I think having him now and be like, okay, well, we're going to franchise tag you, this year again. I think that will probably be the final nail in the coffin for Brian Burns and his relationship with the Panthers. And like I said, that's just my opinion because you go into this now, either you want me here or you don't. Either you're gonna pay me or let me go. So
mm,
you know.
okay.
Let me see. Hold on. Somebody else. Mr. Hunky
In
Dory.
chat, y'all let us know in the chat. What do y'all think? Should Brian Burns? Should we tag and trade him? Let us know your thoughts in the chat.
Yeah. And Mr. Hunky Dory said, do you think he has big head syndrome now and he want the Bosa type of pay or he wants out? Honestly, I don't think Brian Burns has big head syndrome. I don't think so. I don't think so. I thought that man saw his market value and I think he wanted to get paid. And I think the Panthers fumbled the ball and they should have paid him. Now I don't know if it was a situation where they couldn't and and two sides didn't and we don't know everything that's going on behind the scenes, but I don't think he
Right,
has the big head syndrome. But at the same in the same breath, do I think he's on Bosa, um Parsons and that type of level? No. Okay. I don't think so.
yeah,
He's only had 1 year over in double digit sacks. And I know a lot of people be like, well, he's been through one coaching staff, he's been through another coaching staff, um, you know, but the good thing now is that his whole defensive coaching staff is back. So he doesn't have to get
right,
used to a different scheme, and maybe that'll play out into his advantage and an advantage for the Panthers as a whole. But they've got to come to some happy medium. Okay, they've got to meet in the
right.
middle. Like, okay, you want to be here? Yes, I want you here. Yes, let's go ahead and sign this. Let's go ahead and get this out. I think the faster they get this done, get it out the way, it'll be less of a distraction, and we can move on to other things because there's a whole lot of crap that the Panthers need to fix this year.
Yeah, I agree
Yeah.
with you. And I just say something real quick about market value. Every player always going to believe that their value is higher than what the market dictates. We because
Mm-hmm.
you can want one thing, but the market is going to really dictate what you get. And that's why I said about the transition tag. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
you put the transition tag instead of franchise tagging on them. That allows you to that gives you time to work out a deal. But if a deal doesn't, if you don't work out a deal with Brian Burns, I'm talking about the Carolina Panthers, and
Mm-hmm.
somebody else comes along and say, yes, we'll give him $28 million a year, or whatever the case may be, and the Panthers say, okay, that's cool. Well, now you get 2 first-round draft picks for him because it's not even a question about is it a second and a fourth? The transition
Yeah.
tag states that you get 2 first-round draft picks. So if Carolina's offering you 25 and you don't take it, but somebody else offer you 28, okay, boom, take that 28. We'll take those 2 first-round draft picks.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
They did say get a first and a second draft pick and get one from free agency. Okay, now I don't have an issue with that, but how do I say who's top free agent pass rushers that out there? You know, Tony, because I haven't
I
looked
have
up.
no idea. I haven't even looked into it yet.
Okay, well, I don't mind this, but I don't. And I got to do a little bit more research, but I don't know exactly who's coming out in the draft as far as edge rushers that can come in and immediately make a difference. But my thought
Right.
process, I would rather keep Brian Burns and I would rather keep him and hopefully look to upgrade that other defensive end slash linebacker position in free agency too. Like you said, because I think the only way that we're going to get, like you say, 2 first round picks to do the transition tag on them. But now a first and a second is not bad. But to me, it got to be a first and a second in this draft. I'm not trading Brian Burns for a first and a second next year, or a second this year and a first next year. Like if somebody's coming and want to
Right.
trade Brian Burns, I need to recoup immediately. I need something in
I
this year's
got you.
draft. You
I
know what I
feel you
mean?
on that.
Man, let me
I
slide
feel you
down
on
some more of
that.
the comments here. Let me see. He said, "How about Baltimore's offer? What did they offer?"
I don't remember.
They did. Let us.
Yeah, I
I
don't
because
remember what they offered.
I heard about it, but I don't remember the details. Let me see.
Like
Pay him
you
for
know,
the
I
work
see a
he is
couple people.
doing and what is possible with some help. Brian Burns. Yes. Yeah.
I see a couple people are talking about what he did this year, but let's look at the man's body of work in its totality since he's been drafted. Yes, 8 sacks this year was a down year, but we know when Brian Burns is 100% locked in and ready to go, he can be a difference maker. So I don't think
Mm-hmm.
that contract should be all dependent on what he did this past year. That man has at least 4 other years worth of work where his sack total steadily went up year after year after year. So just
Mm-hmm.
because he had that one down year, I don't think that's the end all be all to his contract negotiation. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't agree with that.
Yeah. I just for me, I just think it kind of you wanted that much money and then you came out and only produced 8 sacks. That's the correlation that I'm getting with that. I'm not saying that he shouldn't get paid, but it's just like,
Right.
you the Panthers made you offer, you declined the offer, and then it comes out, okay, well, I want the money in this range. I think he went like between what 25 and 30 million, or he would have took
I
25 or
think it was
something like
between
that.
25 and 28, and
Uh-huh.
Carolina wanted to pay him between 22 and 24.
Okay, yeah.
So
But
that's why I said, well, your value, what you think your value is of yourself, is gonna always be higher than what your
mhm,
true market value is, or what the organization see what your value is. That's just in life, in business, no matter where you at.
yeah.
I wish I can make more per hour than what I make. You know what I'm saying? But is that real value? My boss don't think that. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, facts.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
so remember next year we have no second round pick. Yeah, this is true. Yeah, this is true. Let's see. 8 was an outlier
What
and not his
2025? We don't have a second round pick.
now remember we traded that one. We traded no, hold on, wait a minute. We traded no,
I don't think that's right.
that might be the next year. Oh no, that is next year. He's
2026.
right. No, 2025. He's right. We trade the first round this year. We swap first round picks and DJ Burn, DJ God DJ
DJ.
Moore. Jesus Christ, I said DJ Burn. We swapped. We traded DJ Moore in the first round pick for the number one pick this year. We traded this year's first round pick coming up, and then we traded a second round in 2025. So yeah, you're right. Next year we don't have a second round pick. We got a first, but we don't have a second.
I thought it was second round pick this year. 'Cause we didn't have a second round pick this year, did we?
No, we got a second round, 33. The first pick in the second
No,
round.
I'm talking about last year when we swapped picks and we
Mhm.
got number 1 and 2 Bryce Young. So we swapped the 2 first round picks, the first and the ninth, and
And DJ
then
Moore.
they got our second round put. Yeah, DJ Moore. They got our second round pick because I don't believe we had a second round pick last year, and then they got the first round pick this year.
Mhm. Well, yeah, they got the first
I
round pick
don't.
this year, and they got our second round pick next year.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Nate, yeah, Nate, I said, yeah, we did. We got Mingo in the second round this year. That's right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Let
Okay.
me
All right.
see. Let me see. Paul, what's up, Paul? How you doing, man? Say it was the Vikings game just before half. And Wilks called an all-out blitz with 7 seconds left to go before halftime, and
Yeah.
Cousins threw a TD pass. I think that's what you was talking about
Yeah.
earlier, Tony.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's it, Paul. That's it.
Mhm. Let me see. Nia said Baltimore gave us a first and third plus a player. Okay.
Mm.
Mm, I gotta go back. I
Well,
don't remember who that player was.
the thing about it now is like you said, CJ, we have a new GM now. Brent Tillis, Dan Morgan, those guys, we don't know what the philosophy or their mindset, their thinking as of right now. These a lot of this is things that we wish that the last regime would have done as far as making decisions, and they didn't get it right. So
Yeah.
all we can do now is we're all in wait and see mode. Okay, we're all in wait and
Hmm.
see mode, and hoping that the current regime will do their due diligence and get us on the right track.
Yeah. Ms. Dunky Dory said we also have to know the more we pay one person, the less we pay others. Low pay may equal PFF player with 50 or lower scores. Yeah, that is true. But like I was saying, hopefully, till it's coming in, you got the combination of him and Morgan. Morgan scouting players. Maybe he knows what he knows what he's looking for more than Fitterer did. Him and Canales can get the draft picks right. Okay, get the player scouting right. All right. And then you got Brant Tillis on the other side coming in doing contracts. Hopefully that pans out. Okay. Because
Right.
if I'm not mistaken, this is what he's supposed to be an expert in, is making these contracts work. Okay. And you came from Kansas City
Yeah.
and you got a whole lot of people out there getting paid a whole lot of money. So, and I know their salary cap situation
Yeah.
is different than ours. So hopefully we can make that work.
But they definitely got the results to show for it too.
And hey, damn sure do. Miss Edison, don't forget to pay Louisville. Oh yeah. And let me tell you,
Oh yeah.
I don't see no I don't see no situation where they don't pay Louisville this year. I
Right.
think they know they
Right.
got to get him paid. Paul said, I
Yeah.
don't believe
I
Burns will
believe that.
sign a franchise tag, throwing another wrench into the mix. It's very difficult to trade a player who is not under contract. True.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's
True.
why I kind of say that transition tag, because it gives the player more leeway to negotiate with other teams. So regardless if he signs signs the transition tag or not, we can negotiate with him still, and allows him to also negotiate with other teams.
Hmm. Let
Yeah.
me see. Chris Jones is available.
No,
Man,
sir.
nah.
Chris Jones already stated he going back to KC.
Man, that would be nice, but that's not happening. Somebody
Yeah.
said Ernest Reggie White will steamroll you to the ground, preaching your ear hole while you're going down. Yeah, 'cause I think Mr. Evans
Facts.
said that we expecting Brian Burns to be kind of like Reggie White. But yeah, no, that's yeah, two totally different players. Let me see.
Right.
Hold on. Says CJ plus Louisville and Brown are top priority. Yes. Yes, I would agree. At this point, the situation with Brian Burns is so up in the air, in my opinion. I think it's up in the air. We don't know. We don't have any clarity on it. I would agree. You get Brown and you get Louisville signed. You make sure you go in there and none of this whole wishy-washy stuff. Sit down, talk to them, put a number on the table. If they counter, y'all agree to something and make a deal. Okay, and we can't have another
I agree
Brian
with
Burns
that.
situation. Yeah, can't have another
Yeah, I
Brian
agree with
Burns
that.
situation. All right. So now we're gonna slide on to our next topic in the talking about priorities here, and it'll be a player we just talked about, and that would be Derek Brown. Okay, now I think this will be
Dump
a
truck. Notre Dame.
hold on. I think this is gonna be quick. Okay, it's gonna be real quick. All right, we go ahead and pay Derek Brown, or do you think that the Panthers would be dumb enough to flirt around with letting him play on his fifth year?
No. Derrick Brown will be extended this year. Full
Okay.
stop. Your
All
turn.
right. Yes, I agree. I agree. I made a whole short about Derek Brown, and you have to pay this man. Pay this man expeditiously. Pay him immediately. Pay him yesterday. Pay him 2 weeks ago. You know what I mean?
Pay
This
him
this
now.
this this man set the record for tackles by defensive linemen this year. He made the Pro Bowl. Mind you, I think he got kind of snubbed because he had to be like an alternate, or he was like first alternate.
First alternate.
You
Yeah, he
know,
was
you
first
had
alternate.
you asked
Ain't
me.
that crazy?
Yeah, a lot of them other, I think some of the other cats got in just by, name, kind of like
The
you, you
record
know,
of their team. Yeah,
yeah, but Derek Brown was a complete beast this entire season. It was one person we count on that defensive line. It was Derek Brown. Okay, so yes, pay him, but just for the sake of it, okay. What do you think would happen if they picked up his 5th year option and just let him play for another year? Do you think we're going to be in another situation with Brian Burns?
I have no idea. I have
Okay.
no idea. I don't even want to think that. I don't even want to allow that thought in my mind. I'm hoping, I'm under the mindset that Dan Morgan, Brent Tillis,
Hmm.
Dave Canales, and these guys have learned, especially Dan Morgan. He saw firsthand how they fumbled the bag when it comes to Brian Burns. It would behoove them to get things done right with Derek Burns going forward. Okay,
Hmm.
that to me that should be a no brainer. Extend Derek Brown, not Derek Burns. I'm sorry, but yeah, extend Derek Brown, sign Louisville, and if you can, work out a contract and get Brian Burns back. They
Yeah.
said that Brian Burns and Derek Brown both were strong advocates for Ivero coming back. So
Hmm.
the whole defensive staff is coming back. So there's no new scheme. Everybody is familiar with it. You got one full year in that scheme. Everybody know what to do, know their position, build on that. The
Hmm.
key cogs in your defense, you need to build on.
Yeah.
Louisville, Brown, and Burns.
Hey, hold on. Mr. Evans, he got a he said, I did not think he earned it. Okay, can you clarify who is he? Because if you're talking about Derek Brown, I'm going to pause my video. I'm going to go across the street here, I'm going to knock on your door here. Okay, so let me know let me know exactly who you're talking about when you say I don't think he earned it. Okay, and look, and then say he is the heart of our
Put put
defense. 5th year, my ass, exactly.
put a sticky note on his door. Yeah, you done lost your damn mind.
Well, I'm gonna kick his trash can over real quick. Look,
Oh,
Paul said, I restructure Moulton, Corbett, Woods, and release Shaq Thompson and Dante Jackson if they can't trade either. Okay, now I'm with
I'm
you on
not mad at
restructuring
none of that. What you
Corbett.
just said.
Yeah, because we've had our
I'm
differences
not
about
mad
Shaq Thompson, but yeah, I'm if Shaq is here or if he stays, I appreciate his time that he's been here, but if they don't bring him back, I don't think I'm gonna lose any sleep over it. I like Shaq
because
Thompson.
like really, honestly, at this point, what is his value? What is his value? Is the only value that I see, honestly, is that he's the longest tenured Panther defensively.
Hmm. Yeah.
JJ Jansen is the longest tenured Panther, you know, on the team, period. But as far as defensively, yes, Shaq Thompson has been the longest tenured player on the defense side of the ball. But CJ, you and I both talked about this um at the beginning of the season, throughout the season, especially when it comes to tackling. How much Shaq Thompson got on our damn nerves because he always trying to go for the big shot instead of just wrapping up and getting the man down. Like,
Yep.
I listen, for you to command or want the type of money that you want, you supposed to be the face of this franchise. You got to be that guy. You got to be that guy, man. You got to be that guy. And so far, in my opinion, there's other things that Carolina can do at that position, and with some of that money, me personally, I just think we should move on. I don't dislike Shaq Thompson. I just
Hmm.
don't think he's the same type of player that he once was. That's
Yeah.
all.
And look, okay, so I don't have to get up and go across the street. He's talking about Dexter Lawrence. Mr. Evans is a Giants fan, y'all. He's a Giants fan. He likes the G man. Oh,
Oh,
okay. All right. Your trash cans are safe.
yeah.
And
No
this is
sticking on the
Shaq.
door. No sticking
No,
on the
so
door.
Shaq is a good run stopper.
I disagree with that. I disagree with that. But okay.
Yeah. Okay. We'll see. But like I said, if they bring Shaq back, um, I'm not completely I'm not mad at it. Okay, but if they decide to move on from Shaq Thompson, I'm also not mad at that as well. Okay, so
Right.
but I
Right.
think we're all in agreement. Derek Brown needs to be paid expeditiously. Okay, a day
Pronto.
ago, last week, 2 weeks ago, last month, whatever. Pay the man. All right.
Yes. Mayana.
Mayana,
Mayana. That's Spanish tomorrow.
Mayana or Manana.
Man, May, Ma, whatever. I'm from North Carolina. I say how I want to
God,
say it.
where Doug at? God Almighty, where's Doug? That man said Mayana like mayonnaise. Mayana.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
whatever.
all right, okay. Moving on, folks. All right, and so I
Man, I'm in sleep mode, man. It's 10:15 at night where I'm at.
oh,
Don't come for me.
it wouldn't matter if it
Don't
was
even
6 o'clock
don't
in the
even
morning.
do
You
it.
still
Don't
do
even do it.
it.
Move on, sir. Move
All
on.
right, moving on. Okay, so as we talked about here a little bit earlier, we have the 33rd pick in the draft. Okay, first pick in the second round, and the consensus is that we need to use that pick to get Bryce Young some help. Okay, and what I want everybody to put in the chat and let me know: do y'all think we should go receiver, or do you think we should go offensive line, or if you think we should go another position, maybe on the defensive side of the ball, let me know. Tony, go ahead and give me your thoughts.
Um, Currently, as everything stands right now, there's no moves that has been made in free agency. There's nothing. So I'm basing my decision as the current roster stands right now. I
Mm-hmm.
personally believe that with the 33rd pick, we should grab the best offensive lineman it is, whether it's center, guard, or tackle. That's just my personal opinion. Now, like I said, that's as we stand right now because the number one priority that the Panthers should have, and I believe they do have, when you look at all the coaching changes and everything that they brought in, it's about Bryce. And so the best thing to get the best production out of Bryce, you got to first protect him. And we saw what type of line we had last year. We saw what type of protection that we gave Bryce last year. It was garbage, dumpster do dump. What you say, CJ? Garbage, dumpster
Not
juice, trash, or something
not
like that.
dumpster deuce, dumpster juice.
Du- Yeah, dumpster juice. Yeah, dumpster juice. Yeah. So I just feel like there's so many loopholes on the offensive line that we need to plug. And my thing would be if it was me, the GM, I'm all about protecting my franchise quarterback, especially when I seen him go through what he went through last year with the hit
65 times.
and right. But I also see when you give him time, what type of production and what type of quarterback he can be. So if I want to see my franchise quarterback maximize to his full potential, I got to get the help in front of him to protect him. Then we can worry about getting the ball downfield. So
Mm.
that's my choice.
A-
Offensive lineman.
And it's funny you say that because I had to scroll back up. Mr. Hunky Dory said Bryce is the toughest Smurf in the NFL.
Facts.
Hey, and
Facts.
now I will say this: there was a lot of question about his durability, being as short as he is and as thin
Yeah.
framed as he is. But hey, he's tough. He's definitely tough. And
That's
also,
what I said. People is
hold on,
go ahead.
before I give my thought, I want to go back up to hold on, Austin Wright. How you doing, sir? Austin Wright says mañana. You see that right there, Tony? You see that over that end, mañana. There's no Y in that. There's
Okay,
no mañana.
okay, I already said I was wrong.
I,
What? Okay.
I know. I just wanted to rub salt in the wound. I'm sorry. All right. Carry on. All right. Let me get back to it. I'm sorry, y'all. Um,
Need
I,
Jesus.
I'm with you on the offensive line. Okay. And I think that we have seen, especially like in last year's draft, you had Puka Nakua, who was what was he, a fourth round pick, fifth round pick,
Yeah, he
fifth
was a
round
fifth
pick.
round pick.
So there's talent, and you can go with this both ways. There's talent later in the draft at offensive line, the offensive line position, and at the wide receiver position as well. The only thing I would say is somebody like Lad McConkey. If he was there at 33, now
Yes,
that might be somebody, and I'm like, you know what? I wouldn't be mad if they picked him, because what would
I
be
would
one
be
of the
beating the
best
table.
things? Yeah, what would be one of the best things for Bryce Young right now is a sure-handed possession receiver who can run the entire route tree. If y'all haven't already, look back at some of his highlights from the Senior Bowl. I mean, and it's just the head fakes, the motion, the separation, that he gets. I think that he would be a good weapon for Bryce. But if he is not there, um, straight offensive line, okay,
Yeah,
because there's speculation, well, not speculation, but there is a kind of a push from Panther Nation and maybe people outside of Panther Nation that you take put Icky at guard, and then you draft another left tackle. All right, we have Brady Christensen coming back. Christensen was drafted as a guard slash left tackle. I don't know if that would be an option for them to put him there. Corbett got hurt again, so we don't know what his timeline is to come back. It may be a situation like it was last year. I think they may have rushed him back, came back too soon. He got hurt again. So, he's probably not going to be available at the start of the season. And I think what we
I
saw,
think he will.
yeah, and
He,
what we saw
he
this
did.
past
Yeah,
season,
he just sprained his MCL, so they
sprained
sat
it.
him down for. Yeah, he just sprained his MCL, and they sat him down for the rest of the season. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So, but
Mhm.
what we saw last year, the depth on our offensive line was bad. It was terrible. We really
Right.
had nobody that we could plug in and play, and count on them to be reliable. I mean, hell, we couldn't even count on most of our starters to be reliable. So, it was just a bad situation, all around. And you know, until I see something otherwise, and when I say that, I mean this upcoming season, I think that the offensive line play, as bad as it was, had a lot to do with the scheme that we were running. Okay. I think you may
Mm.
see the line play improve with a different scheme. Now, mind you, scheme or not, Icky looked bad in certain plays. Icky just got beat in certain plays. And the thing was, and I keep trying to tell everybody, Taylor Moton sometimes looked just as bad over there on the right side, but it was like they were having bad plays at the same time. So the camera was focused in on Icky, but you didn't, it's like you didn't really see Moton's man going around him and getting to Bryce
Yeah.
Young too. It's like I always
Right.
say, there's enough blame to go around. Bradley Bozeman looked like he was lost. He looked like he didn't know who to block at times. Um, excuse me.
I think Bozeman was a victim of poor guard play on either side of him last year. So
He
I
was.
think that really took a lot from him doing doing his job, playing his position, because he was focusing on helping either the left guard or the right guard. So I
Yeah.
give him a little grace on that. Yeah. So
Mhm.
I give him a little grace on that.
Yeah, because and I'm with you a little bit of grace, because you saw what him in that exact same offensive line did the year before with Steve Wilks. We were able to run the ball. Excuse me. We were able to run the ball, and we were able to protect shoot, Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold and and PJ Walker enough. They damn sure didn't give up 65 sacks. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
Right.
like hopefully the scheme will definitely help. But at the same time, they all got to sit down, look themselves in the mirror, and say, hey, we cannot have the same season that we have had last year as a unit. Okay. But
I agree with that.
let me scroll back through some of the comments as we've been
No, yeah.
talking about this.
You want to talk about me?
Well,
Messed up
hey,
like two
well,
P
look,
times.
I said a different word, and I meant to say another word. You mangled a word with a letter that didn't go in it, but I digress. Okay, let's get into it. Mr. Huggy Dory said O line. All right, Diggett said O line
And
first
Petty
choice.
was his name, oh.
Hey, that's me. That's me. Call. Mr. Evans said get one of the offensive linemen from Oregon, Michigan, Iowa, wherever. Hey, facts. Just
Facts.
said receiver for sure. We can pick O line in the third round. Uh, Deep selection. Okay, I'm guessing he mean it's a lot of talent in the draft for as offensive lineman.
Well, I think
Um,
there's a lot more talent at wide receiver than there is at offensive line, especially if you're trying to hit on a starter,
mhm,
somebody that can come in and help your offense or defense with the 33rd pick, which is basically a late first round pick because it's the first pick in the second round. You're still trying to get a starter.
mhm.
I believe with the wide receiver depth, there are quality starters day 2 and day 3. I think it's deeper at a wide receiver than it is at offensive lineman. That's just
Okay,
my opinion.
all right. Now this comment here said you can get a decent receiver via free agency, and that's what I was saying earlier. Now, if we were to pick up somebody, say like a T. Higgins, or I'm gonna throw this out here because his name is mentioned. Say a Mike Evans. Say if somehow we can finagle that and bring him in, I think that changes, what we decide to do in the draft. Okay, so we
Okay.
got to get to one point before, and then we can make kind of an educated guess on what's going to happen in the draft. But like I said, free agency is going to be a big part in all of this. No matter what. Let me see. Paul said with most big contracts is really the amount of guaranteed money that dictates how the deal really lasts. Once the guaranteed money are gone, then it's easy for teams to release a player. I think we was talking about the last topic with Burns. Let me see.
Okay.
To get offensive tackle in free agency, I have to look at the list of tackles that are available. Um, Let me see. Austin Wright said O line, then receiver help, but first see what moves Tillis does with cap and free agency. Facts. Like I said before, what kind of what can he do with all these contracts? Can he go in and work his magic? Can we restructure a few players? Can we free up some cap? Is that going to make it easier to sign Brian Burns? Is it going to make it harder to sign Brian Burns? Is it going to make it harder to go out and attract the free agent to come to Carolina? Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
because as much as the coaching staff have changed, we got a new GM. All right, there's still we still got David Tepper. He said he's in the background now. I believe it when I don't see him. I believe it when I don't hear from him. You know what I mean?
Right,
So
right.
yeah. Austin also said it is a deep wide receiver class. Hey, now
It
if
is.
that does pan out, like we say, hey, get your offensive line. And and let me throw this out there too. Okay. Would anybody be upset? Now, mind you, we're at 33, so it's basically a late first round pick, first pick of second round. Would you be mad
Let
if
us know in the
Carolina
chat.
trade? Would you mad if Carolina traded up a few picks to get into the late first round if one of their top offensive lineman targets fell in the latter first round? Okay,
You asking me?
I'm you and everybody in the chat. Like, would you be upset? Now, I guess it all depends on what they would give up to move up. I'm saying like moving up,
Yeah,
three,
because
4, 5 spots. Not
yeah,
nothing major.
yeah, either I don't care if you're moving up 2 spots, you're gonna give up a draft pick. and we only got
Mhm.
6 draft picks in this year's draft. You know,
Mhm.
we messed around and we killed Scott Fitterer from moving up last year and taking DJ Johnson, which didn't pan out, and then we lost the pick on top of that. So really, if you really look at it, it's like we lost out on 2 potential players that we
Mhm.
could have had. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
but DJ Johnson pick was DJ Johnson. Everybody when that name was called said who? You, you, I,
Yeah,
you,
you're
you know what I
right. I
mean?
know I did.
I think shoot, hell, I think I played about as many snaps as DJ Johnson did this year. You know what I mean? That's what I'm talking about. Like you trade away, you jump up, you trade away a pick, and you get
Yeah,
and no disrespect to DJ Johnson, okay, none at all. But it did not pan out at all this year. Okay, so that's why I'm
yeah.
still questioning that. But I'm saying like if they traded up, 3, 4, or 5 spots, but say like an offensive lineman that somehow fell, that everybody feel like okay, that's a bona fide offensive lineman, guard, tackle, center, or whatever. And it's like, somebody that Carolina wanted. Would you be mad if they jumped up?
I yeah, because we don't have the capital, the
Mm-hmm.
draft capital to make such moves this year. I think we are in the business of obtaining draft picks than giving draft picks away.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So,
Okay.
like I
Okay.
said, there's so much that can happen between now and then. We don't know who we may trade or, what we may get in return. Now, we happen to get 2 or 3 picks, along the way before the draft. Okay, I can see somebody saying, okay, we can trade 1 or 2 of the picks that we just got from somebody else because that wasn't our original picks. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But just like I said, when you talking about trading back up into that first round, those teams, because the same team that you talking about trade up to, you asking them to trade out of the first round. So that's gonna come with a price.
Okay.
And I
Uh,
don't think we're in a position to pay the piper like that.
okay. All right. I'm gonna flip it around. Now we got the 33rd pick. What if somebody wanted to jump up and get that 33rd pick and just say we moved back same amount of spots, 3, 4, 5 spots? Because I don't see them moving back no further than that. I think that would be a waste.
No, I don't see no problem moving back 3, 4, 5 spots and then obtaining, 1 or 2, maybe 2 picks. That now
Mm-hmm.
that's a smart move. That's a better move than moving up. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah. So moving
Okay.
back, I don't have no problem with that. But I think the draft capital or what will be asked what would be asked in order for us to move up. I don't think we're in position to pay that right now.
Okay. All right. Like Doris said, I would say the
We
Panthers
got
have
we
to
got
move.
too many holes. Yeah.
Yeah. Move fast at grabbing free agent talent and trades. We can't afford any more not to pay or grab for better. Diggett said not enough capital to move up. He said, just give up, CJ. We need all tra- Hey, you know what? Now I'm not saying I didn't agree, but I'm just trying to, I just want to get everybody's thoughts and opinions, just kind of stir the pot a little bit.
he
You know what I
he
mean?
he with that bullshit, Nada.
Nah, I'm no, I'm not with the bullshit. I'm just cause that's the thing. Everybody has a different opinion, okay? And I
Mhm.
just I like to hear all of them. I like to hear from the top of the spectrum, the bottom of the spectrum, side to side, whatever. I like to hear everybody's opinion. Dig said, "What the fuck with that pick? No more giving up draft picks." Yeah, he said that's Jackson Powers. I think he's talking about Mr. Hunky Dory's
The
comment.
Oregon Center. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jackson
No,
Power
that
would
was. I'm sorry. That was
definitely
Paul's comment. That was Paul's comment. My bad.
Jackson Power. It's not Jackson Power Jackson. I think it's Jackson Powers Johnson, something like that. It's
The
not
center from
Jackson.
Oregon.
Yeah, the center from Oregon. He probably be going in the top 15 pick. So
Mm.
I definitely think that's out of our realm. You know.
But
Um,
oh, I'm sorry.
go
Go ahead,
ahead,
Tom.
go
Go
ahead.
ahead. No, I was gonna say, but if for some strange reason he happens to fall, he's there. Take him.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. Giving up draft picks is a major mistake. I hate giving them away. Um, Paul JPJ number 1 on my draft. Jackson Powers Johnson. Thank you,
Yeah,
Austin.
Jackson Powers Johnson.
Fix the offensive line from the inside out. Dallas left
Exactly.
tackle is a free agent. Who is their left tackle? It's not Martin, is it?
Someone
Martin a guard.
Tyron Smith,
Mm.
who can't stay
Okay.
healthy,
Mm.
and that would be too much money. No. We got a
Yeah.
left tackle that's still on a rookie deal.
Yeah.
Tyron Smith gonna want 25, $30 million a year.
Yeah. I don't think we're gonna be able to pay that to him. Let me see. Center Jackson Powers Johnson can grow and learn with Bryce Young together. Hey, facts. I agree with that. I agree with all of that right there. Yep.
If he somehow like you said, this is just hypothetically speaking, if
Mm-hmm.
Jackson Power Johnson was somehow, some way there at pick 33, I would give a big hell yeah.
Not Stone Cold hell, yeah. Two
Yeah.
cans of two
Yeah.
cans of
Big
beer.
yeah, 2 cans of beer. I had 2 cans of Coke Zero. Hell yeah.
not 2 cans of Coke Zero.
Yes, sir.
Oh my God. Yo. Man said 2 cans of damn Coke Zero. Oh my Jesus.
Yes, sir.
Oh, well, Tony, man, let me tell you. Been a fun live, man, but that's all we got for today, man. Anything else you want to talk about before we get up out of here?
No, I just wanted to remind everybody, hey, we appreciate you guys tuning in. We appreciate you guys subscribing. Like CJ always constantly tell you guys, we're striving to get to a goal of 1,000. So help us get there. Tell your friends, your mom and them, whoever. Even if you
Mama
don't
and
even
them.
like the channel, man, just hit the subscribe button. And do us a big favor. Um, there's some great things that we looking to do for the for the family and everything going forward. So we just want you guys to subscribe, turn those post notification bells, so you know whenever we drop some new content or whatnot. So we still trying to work some things out. Get ready for the first of the year. But yeah, just stay tuned, man. We gonna come with some I think we're gonna come with some good stuff that people can be proud of. But
Yeah.
that's all I got, CJ.
Let me get one comment here. It said QJ Smith said, who would you pick between Lad McConkey or Troy Franklin if both players were available? I'm taking Lad. I, I- I'm
Lad
I'm I'm
McConkey
I'm
all
I'm
day.
taking Lad. Yeah. Not no dig on Troy Franklin, but like I said
Yeah,
earlier,
no deal with him.
Lad McConkey, I'm sorry. He's a
McConkey.
route runner. He gets
Yeah.
separation.
Don't
He
say
has
Lad.
good hands.
Don't say Lad McConkey. Don't pull a Doug. Don't say Lad
Oh,
McConkey.
no,
Don't do that.
no, I'm not gonna do that.
But no,
Um,
let me say this real quick about Lad
uh,
McConkey. Don't just go and look at his Senior Bowl highlights this year.
mhm,
Go back and look at his last 2 years. Even when Georgia had AD Mitchell, Lad McConkey was still the number one receiver for Georgia outside of Brock Bowers, the tight end. He ain't just blow up this year. People probably just didn't start paying attention to the Senior Bowl or whatever. But Lad
he
McConkey has been the truth for the past 2, 3 years for Georgia. So if you really want to deep dive and get some insight on what type of wide receiver he is, go back and check out his highlight tapes for the past 2 years. Don't the I mean the Senior Bowl can give you a little justice, but if you want to see him
mhm.
against some top competition, Georgia, Missouri, all them boys, go back and look at the last 2 years. You'll be pleasantly surprised. That's all I'll say.
Hey, look, I'm putting two more. It says Nate Newton's still in prison. Oh my god.
What?
He's
What the hell?
stupid. Oh my goodness.
I can't with Dig, man.
Yeah.
I can't
Hey,
with
look,
that dude.
Mr. Hunky Dory said people going to McHonky said LOL, yes, I'm Caucasian and it's funny.
That is fun. I wasn't gonna go there. I wasn't gonna get there.
He
No, that
said
I ain't trying to drive in that lane.
said McConkey did have some back issues at one time. Heard that today. Well, that would be interesting. That's the first I heard about that one.
Yeah, that's the first
Um,
I've heard of it.
and QJ said lad reminds me of Doug Baldwin. Okay, all right.
Larry reminds me, and I told you this, CJ,
Mm,
about a month ago. I said Larry McConkey reminds me of a quicker, faster Cooper Cup. I think people are going to be surprised at his 40 time
mm,
when he runs at the combine. I'm not saying that his route running is as crisp as Cooper Cup, because I believe Cooper Cup is a master technician at his craft. But if you
mm-hmm.
want, in my opinion, a comp to him, I would say Cooper Cup more than Doug Baldwin. Doug Baldwin to me remind me a little bit of Steve Smith, and I said it because he got that toughness, that dog in him. You know what I'm saying? He
Mm.
like Doug Baldwin,
Kind of built the
you
same
know,
way.
yeah, so I can't put Lad McConkey in that category of Doug Baldwin, but I will compare him to Cooper Cup.
Okay. All right, cool
Yeah.
beans. Okay. Well, y'all, we appreciate everybody tuning in with us today. We're gonna go ahead and get out of here. Be on the lookout for our mock draft Monday series coming back next couple of weeks. We're probably just going to do some some generic drafts. Okay, and we will definitely bring it to the live and get everybody's input and do some things like that. I think that would be fun. But okay, and I know I've said this before and I say this again if y'all haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. Go follow us on all our
Yes.
social media. We appreciate the love and support. We are ever, ever so much closer to our goal of 1,000 subscribers. So if you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button for us. You know, even if you don't agree with the thing we said, just hit the subscribe button and go on about your day, and we'll definitely appreciate you for that. All right. But I'm gonna go ahead and
Already.
take y'all out like I always do. All right. Three things. Number one, y'all be good. Number two, y'all be safe. And number three, as always, Panther Nation. It's a new season, new day, new coach, a lot of new things. So make sure y'all keep pounding. And we'll catch y'all later.